Biden was defending some racist that he managed to do business with by saying, he never called me boy, he called me son. And Cory Booker was like, well, that's a dumbass thing to say. The use of the term boy for a white man has a very different implication than it does when used for a black man. Anybody who's spent 2 minutes in the United States and knows anything about our history knows this. And he said, Booker later did, that he had had a constructive conversation with Joe Biden about his use of this term, adding, this is about him invoking a terrible power dynamic that he showed a lack of understanding or insensitivity to by invoking this idea that he was called son by white segregationists who, they see him, in him, their son. But of course, the implication is in somebody like me, Cory Booker, they see something very different and use a very different term. He wasn't the only one to confront Joe Biden about this. Al Sharpton did, too. And I'm going to show you that confrontation, which happened in 2019 before the Biden presidency. And every soundbite that comes thereafter is post these conversations with Cory Booker and Al Sharpton. Watch.
Well, it hurts when you talk about boy. It means something different to us.
I do understand the consequence of the word boy, but it wasn't said in any of that context at all.
But you understand, they would call you son. They would never call me son. They would only call me boy.
No, but they call they call Teddy Kennedy boy. Look, as you know, Rev, you know about me in Delaware. I came up in that community. I came up in the black church. I came up because that's where we sit down to organize, to go out and march.
The great artist of our time, representing the groundbreaking legacy of hip hop in America, LL Cool J. By the way, that man's got biceps bigger than my thighs. I think he's got a hell of a new governor in Westmore, I tell you. He's the real deal, and the boy looks like he can still play.
You want to come and make a speech?
Hush up, boy, as my mother would say. You've got a Japanese boy coming over here, and guess what? He won the Masters. He won the Masters. He won the green jacket.
I mean, do we need to go to the if Trump did this place? Like, it's very interesting to think about what could happen with the black vote and the feelings on the economy coupled with Biden's obvious racism on the other side, Emily.
And it would be even more interesting if the media, I think, would give any oxygen to this in the same way. It's not just about the double standard. It's about the fact that there are real consequences to giving people a pass on all of this stuff. And actually, I may have been sort of like, if I had just seen one of these clips or the other one of these clips, he's older, he's from a different generation. Maybe he slips up time and again, and afforded him some grace. But when you see the pattern, it's pretty damning. And if the media gave oxygen to him, the pattern that he just demonstrated recently, again, like we're not talking about something 5-10 years ago. These are what people in the business call news hooks. And the news is not biting on any of these hooks. Now, of course, new media is going to cover it. Places like this are going to cover it. And so a lot of people will see it in those spaces because they're not paying much attention to the mainstream media anymore. So I think that's powerful. But, the media is not going to give him the criticism that he deserves in this case. And I think that's a real benefit to him and a real sad story about the media.
That same feeling that we had, Matt, when he was coming down those stairs and he stumbled. That's what his staff has every time he speaks, because they know not only is he likely to screw it up, but something like this is more and more likely to come out. It is another big risk for them between now and November 24.
We at Reason did a video, a little parody video. Remember the real man of genius ads? I forget what it even was for, like Budweiser or something. So we did that, but did it for Joe Biden. And this is back in like 2008 or 9 or 7 when he was running as a vice president, because we found it hilarious that of all people we're going to appoint Joe Biden, who's been kind of a clownish character in American politics for a long time, a successful one, but like he's been sort of a punching bag, a punch line in American politics. He's been doing this thing the whole time. Look at what he said about Indians working at 7-Eleven. That's not very cool. Talking about corn pop down at the swimming pool. That's super not so great. Telling
Barack
come on,
Obama.
stand up. And yeah, Barack Obama too. He's
the first clean, articulate black man running for office.
Literally, he's the source of that meme. He's been doing this forever. And another thing that I was just noticing, looking at that clip, right? Did you notice the difference between 2019 Joe and the 2 years later Joe?
Yes.
Like it's
huge.
visible. It's visible. That's not so great. Every president looks a hell of a lot worse after 4 or 8 years. Everyone gets gray. Everyone gets a bit haggard around the edges. But the thing that's happened to Joe Biden in just 2 or 3 years is very, very noticeable. And one thing that you will see over the next few months is a lot of people in the media trying to tell you that's not what you see there is not happening. And to focus on it is whataboutism because Donald Trump is bad. It's going to be a really bad season for journalism, I'm afraid.
But they know, Emily, that Carville shot shows they know. And they're faced with a very tough decision now. I know the ABC News Washington Post poll was an outlier showing Trump now up 10 over Biden. But more and more, we're seeing polls that show Trump up over Biden and the race tightening in the general in the critical swing states. And even those Trump voters in that poll I was citing a minute ago, the CBS poll that said, well, I'm open-minded to somebody else. No one's saying that their problems with Donald Trump are that they don't think he can win the general. That's not their objection to him anymore. It used to be. That was Ron DeSantis' main reason for running. I'll win and he won't. No, the Republicans don't believe that anymore. And I do think it's in large part because what they're seeing happening to Joe Biden, not even to Trump. This is a flash sale event for EnviroCleanse, the home air purifier so powerful, the U.S. Navy chose it to purify the air on their ships. The timing of this 25% off flash sale could not be better. It is officially cold and flu season, and of course, it's the 10,000th variety of COVID coming out soon. EnviroCleanse is proven to capture and destroy flu and COVID viruses in your home, not to mention bacteria, toxins, mold, and allergens. We found mold at our beach house. Guess what they said? Get some air purifiers right now before you can get it taken care of on a more macro level. EnviroCleanse is a way you can fight back against the entire family getting sick. In fact, EnviroCleanse is the only home air purifier that promises you and your family better health. Don't miss this 25% off flash sale, 25% off. Order your EnviroCleanse home air purifier while supplies last. Visit ekpure.com and use the code Megyn. ekpure.com, code Megyn, ekpure.com, code Megyn. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.